Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. And how are you all doing on this fine and wonderful and glorious Tuesday afternoon? Yes, it's Tuesday in the early part of January, and outside it is well, mostly clear sky, and it's balmy 60 degrees. It's really, really nice. So I hope you're doing fine and wonderful and fantastic. I certainly hope you're doing better than Freelancer Joe is. No, those of you among my audience, my viewing audience, who have keen ears, the ears of a fox, if you will, you can tell, no doubt tell that there's still something off about the register of my voice. And again, it's not because I'm trying to accurately convey the level of manliness and macho-ness that I have. It's just that, again, it's the cold. Unfortunately, my super secret weapon, Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold, has not been able to completely mask all of the symptoms. Not that I expected it to. Normally, I have to catch it early enough, and the symptoms kind of bypass the stage in which I could catch it, which is really weird and kind of throwing me off. So I'm resorting to my emergency backup, throat lozenges. Now, to be honest, I'm actually always leery of these. These are kind of like last resorts for me. Even though these are sugar-free, I know they have like some form of carbs in them, and that's no as far as Freelancer Gojo's. Plus, they really only address about like 80% of my symptoms. Well, 80% of the discomfort, and there's still 20% there, and you still end up coughing up stuff and whatnot. And it makes drinking things really difficult too. So the thing is, it's like most of the irritation is like really far back, and these things never get that far back enough. So I used to have like the throat spray stuff, and that got a little bit closer, but I'm about to make a really crude reference to a particular act that would allow me to hit that far back, but trying to keep, not that I'm monetized, but trying to keep this family friendly. So there we go. Of course, it makes drinking anything cool difficult. Really, really hits the spot. Well, what's the term? It's like, it's like drinking ice cubes, I guess. It's just really cold. Which is great for the cheek and the tongue, but again, it's the back of the throat that's really doing it. So, plus, of course, I'm stuck on this, and it's going to interfere with my verbal abilities, my vaunted, vast verbal abilities. So, yeah, I apologize if it's a little bit distracting. Actually, to be honest, I'm thinking about maybe cutting this one a little bit short. I mean, with the lozenges, I don't have to worry about my voice giving out on me. Because if I didn't have this, then it's not that my voice would give out. It's just that I would not want to keep talking. And, I mean, I suppose I could make like a silent episode. But I like being able to explain what I'm doing. And also because it helps me stall for time and pad the episode. But I think part of the reason that you're here is to hear the dulcet tones, even if they're sick, not completely healthy, of the dulcet tones of Freelancer Joe. But other than that, other than being sick, most of my day was pretty good. Still skipped training, which is I guess normally fine because today's the rest day anyway. And if I resume training tomorrow, then I would need the rest day because I would train Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But depending on how long this illness holds, I might not be able to resume it. Yeah, see? Actually, I should have coughed into here. Even with this, it's not able to hit the entire thing. But yeah, training. Now I'm hopeful that this illness will clear up by the end of the week. I'm not really going to apologize for the verbal tics today because I don't think I'm running a fever. I mean, I'm always hot, so it's kind of hard to tell. Although, to be honest, I saw a North Carolina license plate while I was driving back home from work today, and I started singing North Carolina Man. I don't know if there's a song called North Carolina Man, but there is one now, and it's not a very good song. So I suspect that might be my delirium from the heat, whatever temperature I might or might not have. I do have a thermometer somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so what do we got? We got Editor open, we got Firefox open, we got the terminal open, and we are looking at my demo website. And currently we have 4 items under the remaining tech debt, of which I suspect 3 is only really tech debt. This one is actually future functionality. Hey, you know what? So let's go ahead and let's comment it that way. Not future functionality, but future exploration. Things I want to look into in the future. Alright, so really just 3 things. So let's go ahead and bring up my website and demo it. Let's bring up my demo UI application and double check. Not that I doubt anything has changed, but you know, it's kind of like the same reason they tell you one of the safety rules when handling firearms is always treat it as if it's loaded. When you pick it up, always check to make sure it's empty and blah, 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 blah. It's like, even if you're sure, double check, triple check. Now, obviously, generally speaking, in the case of development, it's not nearly as catastrophic if something goes wrong. Although I've heard stories, certainly when it comes to like financial institutions, I mean, you triple, quadruple check that stuff, because you don't want to be the one that causes them to lose money, because that causes you your job, if not any future employment within that sector. Unless, of course, you're one of those top dog brokers, whatever, in which case, you know, golden parachute and yeah. Those with charmed lives that I've mentioned before. Can you imagine that? Getting to the point where failure rewards you? That's awesome. No, actually, that's probably a good strategy in general. But what I'm saying is that, like, we're even. What is the term? What's the term? I think it's a Xanatos gambit, right? Basically, Xanatos gambit is a play for which all foreseeable outcomes benefit the creator, including ones that superficially appear to be failure. Ideally, you want to construct your life so that that's always the case. Alright, so we are looking at the console. We're verifying that. Alright, so we still have the show labeled issue. We have the array or curator. Our editor should have a unique key prop. Fine, and then double navigation. Their hash history cannot push the same path. Alright. So which one do we tackle first? Well, let's go chronologically. Top bar. Each child in an array should have a unique key prop. That should be easy. I'm pretty certain I specified an ID, a unique ID for each one. Just that I was specified an ID and not a key. So top bar. We don't need calendar view. We don't need content paper. I'm sure we don't need install.sh either. And Oh, come on, I close that. So we're looking for an array. Now here we got buttons. That's an array. There you go, right there. Now this says ID equals, so we know that's bad, but then the key value we use is CFG object transition key. So we need to make sure that that's also unique. So let's look at UI CFG. And I'll move it over there. Behave. What are you looking at? CFG toolbar. CFG. So we have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Calendar. Okay, so those are all unique. So in theory, all we have to do is change this from ID to key. And let's take a look. Are these the... yes, those are the only buttons there. So let's see. Oh, you know, generally when I have a list like this, what I like to do, since I don't use anything like Jira for issue tracking, I just use little note things like this because it's just me. What I like to do, right, is put some sort of indicator to show which one I'm working on. It helps me keep track in case I like wander off or do something else. Alright, so we save all. But because the hot thing, future exploration. Hot loading. Actually, I might put that above that one because that's far more immediate, far more immediate use for me. So stop it and restart. Yeah, but you know, other than the sickness, the day was good. Morning commute was nice. Evening commute was nice. Weather's nice. I think I've worked out everything at work, as in, from my understanding. It's hard how to break this down. It's like right. So there's generally you have 3 tiers when it comes to an application. You've got your front end, you've got your middle end, and you've got your back end, right? So what I'm working on right now really doesn't distinguish too clearly between the front end and the middle end, middle end. So it's all kind of mishmashed together. And so I've been spending a lot of time figuring out the middle end part. And I think I had that all sorted out. I was working on that, and then I kind of took a look at the front end part of things and realized just how closely interrelated they were. But I think I figured out all the parts about the front end, for the most part. The trickiest part when you're coming into an existing project is actually figuring out where things are coming from, especially if there's not a very consistent, clear and consistent methodology to it. Something can be consistent, but it might not necessarily be clear. And it really helps if, for example, well, like with React here, right? All right, so we have the application state, so that's very clear. I can dump out what's in the application state and see everything in there. And then we've got the view states, and I can dump out what's in there and see what's in there, and it's pretty easy to mess up to see what's there and what's not there. But certain other frameworks, for example, it might not be abundantly clear what's available to you and where things are getting put in and where they're coming from. But the application state in React, for example, React Redux, you know that it's getting updated via the Redux actions, the dispatches. So, all right. What did I fix? The keys? What I think I fixed? Alright, show label. And we don't have the keys thing anymore. Nice. Let's go to the other guys, verify. They should, well, actually that's true. They're all different components, so not like my site or my demos, which are, it's one component where you swap out the contents on the fly. These are all different components. Copies of each other, to be sure, but that means if a mistake happened in the source, then all the copies will have that mistake too. Or mistake or thing that needs to be changed. Alright, so top bar is done. And when I want to feel good about myself, like I've accomplished things instead of just deleting it, I put that big old X there. It's like, yeah, mission accomplished. Alright, so next is bottom navigation. Oh, that moved up a little high there. And bottom navigation. Presentational, bottom bar. So if I remember correctly, what that is effectively I'm using the bottom navigation component in a manner that is not consistent with how the Material UI developers have anticipated the bottom navigation component to be used. So my idea is that I simply replace it with a div. But I feel like, alright, the reason I used the bottom navigation component was to ensure that this particular div is always at the bottom, or that these particular contents are always at the bottom. Ah, see, look, this guy has a key and an ID. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, but if you structure the layout of the page correctly, then it'll always be at the bottom anyway. So, if we're going with a div, then we don't need the bottom navigation component to begin with. So let's... Sorry. I should try to cough away from the mic. Do that. And again, we'll have to stop it because we're going to hot load is still not working. And start it up. So I was sick yesterday, but I banged down the episode. I was ready to relax. And then my Xbox was giving me problems. I wasn't able to read any discs at all. I mean, at first I thought my Destiny 2 disc had gone bad, then other game discs it didn't read, didn't even read Blu-ray discs, then bother popping in a DVD. And apparently, for whatever reason, if you have the instant power on, it sometimes causes issues. So I disabled that, and then I had to do a hard power cycle, basically a hard stop and a restart. And then it starts reading it. You know, in the old days, you didn't have to worry about that problem. To be fair, in the NES era, you had to blow, well, it wasn't recommended that you blow on the bottom of the cartridge. But after that, I mean, you never really had any problems with the Genesis or the Super Nintendo or, well, let me see, that was the 16-bit, right? 32 went to Saturn and PlayStation. And then you ran into the issue of the drives potentially failing, or the discs eventually going bad. I've had some PlayStation discs do that. Saturn's still going strong, though. And after that, the PS2 and the Xbox. I think my Xbox went bad. PS2, actually my PS2 went for a workhorse for a while, but I had to end up going with the Slim eventually. Forgot why. But yeah, I bet you if I whipped out my Sega Genesis right now, or I know my TurboGrafx 16 still works, which is amazing. I didn't have the Turbo CD, unfortunately. Really would have liked to, just for the Gates of Thunder and Lords of Thunder. and what was it? Rondo Symphony, the Castlevania one they had that was only for that. Did they finally? I think they eventually got Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, maybe. All right, let's see if the bottom they have is fixed. All right, yeah, it was as simple as that. Does it still appear at the bottom? Sorry. Yeah, that's not pleasant. That's not pleasant. Not pleasing to the ear at all. I'd almost feel bad for my office mate, but again, I suspect he was the one that gave me this, so. I almost kind of thought, well, maybe it's because I've been walking out to my car to take a mid-morning break, but nah. Let's verify it still renders correctly. Yeah, well, a little bit further down, but far down. But no, that's fine. That is just the demo. Alright, so we have that taken care of. That means we can close this. Go ahead and stop it right now. Did it stop? Yes, it stopped. Even if I don't see it, I know I pressed the keys. And let's take credit for this. And now we have doublet navigation. Double navigation. Alright. Forgot to fix, but let's see if we remember where we're supposed to look for it. The fix is supposed to go. Now the simplest way would just be to search for history. Alright, so let's go with the simplest way. I mean, it's not a big file base, so there we go. DOM history, Patrick top, not you. Here we go. Ooh, root container and no, it's view container. This is the guy that's doing the pushing. He's complaining about the push, so we need to check the push. There you go. There we go. Yeah. All right. So if I remember the actual fix, it's basically I want to see if the key that it's going to try to transition to is what's already on the history right now. I don't remember exactly how to get that what's on the history right now though. So let's go look at a place where we've already solved it. Captain Cut and Paste to the rescue, and the advantages of being consistent. Components, container, view container. Yeah, no. There we go. Okay. So this is the same function, but I take advantage of the location property, which is injected into the component. And then if they exist, which is just a safety check, I get the path name from location, and then I take... Okay, right. A substring of location path name, because location path name is going to start with a slash. Okay. Now, I was thinking about, the file separator, but I believe in JavaScript it's fine. So as long as the key doesn't equal that, what's after the slash, then we'll go ahead and make the switch. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and copy this entire thing. And what's the comment? Oh, You know what? I still need the property too. All right. What does that comment say? Oh no, it's the same comment. All right, but the thing is, I need to add in all these keys. Now, I think I only need to add these, but we'll go ahead and add in all of them, just cause. So home, splash, splash, sorry. And then the rest of these, we'll go ahead and just put in there. Take these out. And format looks good. And I don't believe I need this anymore. And the transition stays there. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why I do this. I mean, I do this because I was using the custom scroll bars, but all right. Oh, I was working on this. Credit. Always say credit. Credit, not blame. Okay, let's restart it. Let's see if that works. So we'll need to check that all the navigation still works, for one. And then we'll have to check to make sure that the double navigation doesn't throw that error anymore. Of course, it's a big load because I basically changed one of the high-level containers that everything else is within, so that's why it takes longer. Or my system could be slowing down. Hard to say. Oh. To be honest, I really could have used a pizza today. Actually, pho. Pho is what I could have used. Alright, so that comes up. Let's see if we have warnings. No warnings. That's good. Let's see if the navigation still works. Bravo. Bravo comes up. No warnings. Charlie. Alright, I see no reason why. Calendar. Calendar comes up just fine. No warnings. Alpha. No warnings. And let's try the double navigation. No warnings. Alright. Nice. Alright, good. So, that means we are done with the technical debt. Let's go ahead and clear this out. And then let's go ahead and commit, because I haven't done that in a while. Git push. Password. I could use another one of those lozenges right now. And let's double check to see if it got pushed. It should have. I should have no issues. UI demo. Last change 21 seconds ago. Alright. We're gold. And we are about at the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap this up for now. And I am just about ready for another throw lozenge. Well, actually, almost 4. Yeah, almost 4. Almost time for more Alka-Seltzer, too. Cool keywords about liking and subscribing, commenting, and suggesting. I hope you join me tomorrow. I think we will move on to the future exploration. That AWS Amplify thing. That bugs me. I want to get rid of it, but I want to hide that particular part. Or figure out how to hide it. That's kind of useful. Cool keywords. Join me tomorrow. Yes. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of this Tuesday afternoon. If you're in a place where the weather's nice, I hope you get out and enjoy it. And I hope you join me tomorrow. And lots of hopes here, but I hope that until the next time you join me, that you take care and God bless.